So today we are taking this and we're going to bash it. Kit bashing, taking a kit, bashing it, turning it into something else. Okay, let's see what's inside.
Alright, the unboxing. Pretty generic. I just dump everything out and kind of put it in piles. I ignore the directions because this is a KitBash and I kind of just wing it from there. Be sure to throw this terrible glue right out the fucking window. Opening the big bag of wood, I'm separating each item. So like that's all the pieces to the window, those pieces to the bed, pieces to the bookshelf. I think there's a desk in there and a chair. So once they're all separated, I start gluing them together and actually gluing my finger to the frickin' pieces of wood. Sometimes I'm not allowed to have super glue because I tend to just glue myself to the wood. But I started off with the bookshelf and it turned out okay. If you don't look closely, you won't notice that it's very crooked. But super glue does its job. It holds up pretty nicely. Gluing the legs on the chair and the table were very frustrating. But putting the front false drawers on the desk with its little handles was probably my most satisfying piece, and I think the desk turned out the best in the end. Now, they gave me a string of metal beads that I had to cut off and then glue those little beads to the front of the desk as the drawer handles. I guess it was nice, but I think next time I might just paint them on. And I love this super glue. It dries really fast and everything is pretty sturdy. 2 items down, and off camera I did the chair because, to be honest, the chair, I broke it like 4 times. It was harder than I thought to put together. And the bed was a little confusing, but eventually I figured it out. You know, you kind of just take your best guess and hope for the best, and it's usually fine. Whatever mistakes you make, you can cover up with stuff later. Now, you may not be able to tell, but I messed up the side table. The top and bottom squares are not perfectly aligned. But after building the furniture, it's time to build the room. And honestly, this wallpaper is disgusting. So I'll be using my own from my craft bin. We'll get there in a minute. Now, these are always odd shapes. Certain, sides go with other sides, and they're not labeled. Like, the book will tell you side A connects to floor on side B, but they're not labeled. These kits are very, here, good luck, just do your best. They are not very user-friendly. But I get the walls up, and I used this wallpaper. I really like it because I'm going to kind of take this bedroom and turn it into a witchy, maybe early puberty kids room. So to match the wallpaper, I decided to go with a purpley, sparkly purpley gold aesthetic, and I did have to do a couple of layers of paint because the first layer was a little bit dull, a little bit see-through. But I really like the depth of the purple after the second coat, and the gold accents, I think, were the right choice. Now, my detail painting skills are weak at best, and I am still new to miniature paintings. Miniatures. This is only my second miniature I've ever built. It won't be my last, but I don't know, there's just some things I'm good at and some things I'm not, and if I can't do it with super glue, I'm probably not going to do it at all. And painting, it's going to be minimal, and I'm going to distract you from the bad things that I've done with the paint by covering them with other things, like mini toys or lace or paper or tape. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice all kinds of things I did wrong. All kinds of weird stuff that maybe doesn't belong or doesn't look good or, but again, I'm learning. I didn't know how to make the bedding, so I kind of just glued batting to fabric and then glued that to the bed. The pillows turned out nice. They are super glued. They are not sewn together. I did not do any sewing for this. And when in doubt, double-sided tape. I didn't think the super glue would stick to the lace to the table, and I just thought I'd end up gluing myself to it. So I did double-sided tape, and that worked really good. Actually, double-sided tape is probably the best when you're not 100% sure you want to commit to that thing. So I'm not sure that I want to keep the lace on there. Spoiler, I do. But I didn't want to commit with super glue, and I didn't want to get it stuck to me, so double-sided tape was good. Same with the bookshelf. I used a little bit of glue, and then I used double-sided tape to hold it on the wall while the glue dried because I'm impatient. So now that the furniture's in the places I want it to be, we're going to decorating. Now, over the last few months, I've collected a lot of different miniature items, either from Five Surprise, Mini Toys, Sugar Pop, or Real Littles, or Tiny Toy Box, or Toy Box Minis. I don't know, there's so many different brands, and if I see something that's miniature that might be somewhat close to 1/12 scale, or usable in 1/12 scale, I buy it. Not only is it super fun, but I just like having them. Now these are all the other additional items that I had gotten from Michaels, and some other miniature items that I had set aside for this build before I started. I had a cat. I thought, I'll paint that black, and this little girl's gonna have her black cat, and she's definitely gonna believe in unicorns. Just because you're a witch and you like dark spooky things doesn't mean you don't like unicorns. This I'm definitely gonna paint white to look like a unicorn. I don't have any clay to make it a unicorn though. And I think I'm gonna turn this sand bucket into something. I just don't know what yet. Now, using my paint from my Nerdy Crafter kit, I'm just gonna paint this pony white and paint the kitty cat black. I was gonna paint the glowworm and glow in the dark paint, but by the time I painted the other two, I just wanted to move on. Let's take one quick sweeping look at the emptiness of the room before we decorate. And right here, I'm just gluing things in place, just securing it all either with super glue or double-sided tape, and really committing to the layout of the room. Now this kid's got some big books, some little books, some journals, all kinds of pencils and whatnot, and I'm just trying to lay them out in not only an aesthetic way, but in a way that seems plausible, believable for a kid's room. Because again, like I said, my vision for this is a prepubescent kid, or like 12 going on 13, you know, believes in magic and unicorns, but is starting to get a little dark, a little witchy. And I like to think that the furniture is a little shoddy because she painted it herself, and it's not just my bad painting skills. Now, a piece I really wanted to keep in here was this Ouija board, but I couldn't fit it next to the bed, under the pillows, on the bookshelf, or anything, so it got kind of put to the side and abandoned. And I thought a kid would have some more art supplies. It just was too big, so I took it out of there. And again, the sand bucket I wanted to use because I had extra of these. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it yet, so I set it there for now. Later, I do cut it apart and make it just a trash can, because that seemed smart to me. So she has a journal, and I went ahead and scribbled in it because it's too small to know what she's writing, but I definitely wanted to make it look like a sketchbook or a journal of some kind, but make it very obvious. And this is my last-ditch effort to get the Ouija board to fit in here. It does not stay, so don't get attached to it. I'm just gonna step away from the camera and just focus on this artistically, and then I'll give you a final reveal. Alright, so this is where we're at, and I made I had some broken pieces of stuff, so I used some ribbon to make like this fancy, cute, adorable little witch's broom to kind of just fill up the space over here, because it's an empty space, but a kid would have that, you know? And then I used the sand bucket to
make a trash can. So that's cool. I went and tossed the pencils on the floor because that made sense to me. And we've got our unicorn stuff, sketchbook on the table, stuff, a little cactus and her sketchbook, some random bits and bobs because, yeah, and bookshelf. I need to find something to put here. That I need to fill up. And her diary on her bed. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up a few little pieces and then we'll do the final shots. All right, so we're done and this is the final piece. I really had fun doing this and I think doing this off camera was probably the most cathartic thing for me. It's definitely healing my inner child. And I'm having a lot of fun with it, but I don't know that I'll make miniature videos in the future. I think I genuinely just have fun making them and I'm gonna give this away to somebody, probably my kid or my niece or something, but yeah, in the future I probably won't make this. I think I'll stick to digital art or traditional art and not do miniatures. I think miniatures might be just for me. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whatever. I have a Etsy store and I have a bunch of new designs, especially for Halloween, so if you want to check those out, you can click the link below. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye bye.